breaking down the Washington Commanders draft. A little surprising to a lot of people that they did not go pass rusher, although they did something that's very important. They drafted more beef up front for Jaden Daniels. Anytime you can protect Jaden Daniels with some key draft picks in the first round, I'm all for it. Josh Connerly, 6'4", 315, went to Oregon. He protected Dylan Gabriel. Only gave up one sack to Dylan Gabriel all season long. A very good pass protector, very good hands, good feet. Not a lot of play strength, but he's got good feet. He's a very good pass protector. Now, what they do with them is going to be very interesting because Laramie Tunsil's a starting left tackle, just got from Houston. That's for sure. We know that. We know Algretti is going to be the left guard. We know Tyler Biadasz is going to be the starting center. Now the right side is kind of jumbled up. Does Broderick Coleman go to right tackle? Are you going to try to move Josh Connerly to right tackle? Who's going to play right guard? Sam Cosmi coming off an injury. So we have some options there. Trent Scott's a good role player. They went out and got Dieter. They went out and got Herbig. So they have a lot of options to play the right guard, right tackle spot. I think they're going to throw the ball out there in minicamp and training camp and see who the best fit is. Andrew Wiley's still on the roster. He's a starting right tackle all year. Do they move him inside the guard? So a lot of options, and that's a good thing. You want to have as many big bodies as you can that can fill in and play different positions. 17-game season. Injuries happen. Versatility is key on the offensive line, and I believe they have as good as depth of any offensive line in pro football. Now, can they fit in at the right tackle spot? Can Connerly make that switch? Can Broderick Coleman make that switch? That's easier said than done for a left tackle to move to right tackle. Some people can make that transition smooth. Some people struggle. We'll wait and see, but I do like the pick. Anytime you get more players to protect Jaden Daniels, I'm all for it. Now, the issue is, we let a couple guys go. Donovan Izaraku was available there for the Commanders to pick. He went to the Cowboys. I'm a little concerned about that. JT Tuamola was there. He went right after that. Mike Green was available. So they had some pass rushers they could have got with their pick at 29. They chose to go offensive line. I'm okay with it. Second round, they go Trey Amos from Ole Miss. This is a long corner, 6'1", ran a 4.4 at the combine. Very good ball skills. Had a lot of ball production as far as pass breakups. Another good pick. Secondary wise, I love it because now you have Marshawn Lattimore, you have Trey Amos, you have Mike Sainer still. You can move him back in the nickel if you want to. If Amos comes in here and shows that he can be a starting corner for you, the versatility of Sainer still is awesome because he can play different spots. Obviously, they have other guys in the secondary that can play, but those three guys are three very good defensive backs that can shut down, play man-to-man, play zone. They're physical. They can tackle. So I really like the secondary where they're going right now. Safety-wise, obviously, they didn't address safety-wise, but, they went out and got Will Harris. So they have Will Harris. They also have Quan Martin and obviously Jeremy Reeves and Percy Butler. So the secondary looks pretty solid. I like it. Linebacking crew, they went and got Kane Medrano from UCLA, 6'3", 222 pounds. This guy is more of a sideline to sideline runner. He's not a thumper at all. He's only 220 pounds. He's long. He's lean. If you're playing him against the run to try to stop Saquon Barkley between the tackles, get him out. Okay. If you're playing third down and 12 and it's a passing situation, you can put him in there. He can cover a lot of ground. He might be a good kickoff cover guy, which will be good. He can run very effectively. He's had some good ball production at UCLA, but he's not a very physical guy. He looks more like a safety to me playing inside the box. He gets overpowered in the run. He's a drag down tackler, but he can run. So I think the versatility with him on third down, maybe covering out in space, playing some zones, playing some man-to-mans on some tight ends might be useful, but it's going to be a long shot for him. The third round, they took Jalen Lane, 5'10", 196 from Virginia Tech. This guy can run. Comes from Middle Tennessee State. Then he went to Virginia Tech for a year. He's played in the slot, plays outside a little bit more so in the slot, but he's had some good production at wide receiver. He can really stretch the field vertically. And also, he had 67 punt returns and 2 touchdowns. So he and Luke McCaffrey can battle for that punt returner job in training camp. This guy will give Luke a run for his money because this guy can burn it. And he had a lot of good production. So I like the depth they have at receiver. Now they have Jalen Lane. They have Terry McLaurin. They have Deebo Samuel. They have Noah Brown. They added Michael Gallup. So they have a lot of different options at wide receiver they can go to. Add another speed guy, I think, is a good move by the Commanders. And then I think in the 5th round or 6th round, they ended up taking Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt. This is a running back from Arizona. He only played one game at Arizona. He played against New Mexico State, had over 100 yards, but he had a very good East-West Shrine game. I think that's that's where they saw him. And he had a pretty good career. I believe it was at New Mexico before he came to Arizona for one game, had eligibility issues. He made his hay at the East-West Shrine game. He looked effective. He's 5'10", 200 pounds, not a very big guy. But a very good, effective runner. I imagine he'll be competing for that third running back on the roster behind Austin Eckler and Brian Robinson Jr. and see how he does in training camp if he can get into some playing time with Jerry McNichols also competing there. So overall, pretty solid draft. The biggest concern, obviously, is not taking an edge rusher. But if you look around the league, you look at the Philadelphia Eagles, they make their hay with the interior defensive line, and then they get their pressure on the outside eventually on third down and long. I think with Washington's defense, with defensive ends like Dietrich Wise and Dorrance Armstrong, I think they'll be okay there. I think they're going to get most of their pressure on third down by bringing Frankie Louvu off the edge, bringing Bobby Wagner in the A or B gaps, so they still can get some pressure. But stopping the run is going to be their number one objective, and I think they did that with their defensive end, signing Dietrich Wise, a very good run defender. They signed Sheldon. They had Sheldon Day. They have Kinlaw. They got from San Francisco, huge guy to stop the run, and obviously Eddie Goldman can play the run as well. And then they got the big linebacker. So I think the run defense is going to be a little bit better. It's going to have to be, because we remember the last game of the year against the Philadelphia Eagles. They scored 55 points, had over 250 yards rushing, and also gave up 250 yards passing. So shoring up the defense was key. Surprising they took an offensive tackle. That's okay to protect Jaden Daniels. I'm okay with it, but they did address in free agency on defense, so I think they'll be okay eventually. And that's the biggest issue you have, is that the best player positions of need. Obviously, they went best player at left tackle with Connerly, and then they wanted to try to address, obviously, the linebacker room to get a little bit more depth. They wanted to get another speed receiver. They got that with Lane. You just got to be selective, and it comes down to which player will help us become a better football team, whether it's as a backup, eventually a starter, hopefully. Maybe it's a special team player, a punt returner like Lane. Maybe it's a kick cover guy like, they got Madonna from UCLA. So, it's just tough when you only have a few picks. You got to be pretty selective and take the best one that'll fit your roster. When you grade the Commanders draft, you can't be overly excited about it because you're not going to get a lot of wow production fantasy football points. This is all about offensive firepower. This will help Jaden Daniels be protected. That's very good. So I got to give him a good solid B. Obviously, getting another tackle was surprising to me, but when you add another speed receiver and you add Trey Amos, who I think could be an eventual starter in this league, I think Amos is the best pick of the draft by far. I think this guy should have gone in the first round. He's long, he can run, he's got good ball production, and I think it's going to be a big help to go along with obviously Sainer Still and Marshawn Lattimore. I think those three guys on the field at the same time will become a very good combination of defensive backs. It's up to the defensive coordinator, the head coach, and obviously the GM, Adam Peters. I think they did a good job of identifying what they needed at the depth, at the positions of depth that they needed. They needed another linebacker to back up Bobby Wagner and Frankie Louvu. They got that. They need another corner to go in there and compete, obviously with Sainer Still and the rest of the group. And they needed an offensive lineman to add some depth, because with Wiley being a little bit older, Cosby coming off an injury, they needed another offensive lineman there to provide some depth, especially to protect the man, Jaden Daniels. I think they've done a good job to stay where they're, stay competitive for sure. They've added some beef up front, which is good. They've added some defensive linemen that are really physical at the point of attack that can stop the run and slow down Saquon Barkley, hopefully. They added another corner that can really play. So the secondary has been solidified, I believe. Marshawn Lattimore played last year. He played a little hurt, and I think he's going to have a much better year this year. Add Amos. Sainer Still is more comfortable out at corner. They can move him at nickel where he succeeds at a very high level there. That's what his true position is. So, yeah, I feel good about their defense being upgraded a little bit. I do have concern about their pass rush. I mean, it's no secret. I mean, they had a chance to get a couple guys, Scourton and Mike Green and Tuamala and Zaraku. They chose to go offensive lineman, but where they're going to manufacture pass rush is my biggest concern moving forward. Offensively, I think they're going to be in a better place. Adding Deebo Samuel, having Terry McLaurin, adding another speed receiver in Jalen Lane, I think is going to help. Obviously, the tight ends situation is solid. Zach Ertz is still a very good football player. And the running backs, we thought we might get a little bit more of an upgrade, but Brian Robinson's a good back. Austin Eckler is a very good third down back. Not a true necessary upgrade. I think those two guys are very, very good football players. So I think offensively, they're going to continue to attack and be very effective with the additions that they added. And then defensively is where obviously we all saw the 55-20 game against Philadelphia. What are we going to do to upgrade our team? And I think Losing a 10-plus sack guy to Dallas is going to hurt a little bit, but the additions they made to try to stop the run, I think will be okay. But I think they're still going to look for another edge rusher. There might be a cap casualty eventually they might get, maybe another guy who gets cut off a team that's pretty good. So I think they're still going to be on the lookout for a pass rusher. They need one extremely bad. But overall, I think this team will continue to compete for the NFC Championship and Super Bowls for years to come.
Spice up your sports viewing experience with the Underdog app. Underdog is the best place to play. Pick 'em on all of your favorite sports. Just choose higher or lower on your favorite players' stats, and you can join the millions of fans who have won billions of dollars on Underdog. What are you waiting for? Sign up now using promo code POCKET. That's POCKET, and you can get up to $1,000 in bonus credits. Download the Underdog app or visit UnderdogFantasy.com to get started today.